Mr. Speaker, Mr. Pro Tem, Mr. President, honored legislators, my fellow constitutional officers, Mr. Chief Justice, and members of the judiciary, my wife Teresa and your First Lady, our family, friends, and my fellow Idahoans. As Teresa and I begin the final year of my second term as Idaho's 33rd Lieutenant Governor, we are deeply humbled to serve the people of the great state. These past 7 years have only reinforced what we've long known. Idaho and her people are grounded in enduring values. We are independent and innovative. We act with integrity. We approach our lives and our work with unwavering grit. Idaho is evolving. However, through the change, we must commit ourselves to preserving our state as the place where opportunity thrives. We must dedicate ourselves to carrying forward the values that defined us, making sure they endure for generations to come. We have some very special guests with us today. Idaho's past 3 governors and first ladies. Idaho's 32nd governor, Governor Butch Otter and First Lady Lori. Idaho's 31st governor, U.S. Senator Jim Risch and First Lady Vicki. And Idaho's 30th governor, Governor Dirk Kempthorne and First Lady Patricia. Governors and First Ladies, would you please stand? It's great to have you here. I hope I get half that applause. So, these great governors established the foundation of success that Idaho enjoys today. They brought a passionate, principled, and purposeful approach to leadership. And their decisions prioritized long-term well-being of our state, which remains central to Idaho's prosperity. Thank you for being here. This year, America turns 250 years old, a milestone that invites celebration, reflection, and hope. We also mark the 25th anniversary of 9/11. We remember the patriotism, unity, and sense of community that emerged from that tragedy. In the year ahead, we'll build on that spirit by creating new opportunities for communities across Idaho to serve God and one another, to show love for our neighbors. For 2.5 centuries, the United States of America has been defined by the idea that freedom and opportunity belong to all. As we look to the future of our great country, this same idea will unite us as it always has. On the 250th commemoration of our country's birth, let's recognize and thank the generations who built this nation and those who defend it today, our active military members and veterans. If you have served our country in the military, please stand so we can thank you. As we kick off the 2026, we reflect on all that has occurred over the past year. And it was an action-packed year. The American people put Donald Trump back in the White House to send shockwaves through our system that needed shaking up. And boy, did he deliver. Washington needed a jolt, and President Trump delivered full voltage. Over the past year, President Trump has reshaped the federal government with a renewed focus on strength and accountability. America's border is finally secure, and President Trump has put forward a pro-American agenda. Last year in the Oval Office, I spoke with President Trump about how Idaho exemplifies his vision of America. We're tough on crime. We protect the unborn. We eliminated CRT and DEI, and we led the nation in preventing men from competing in women's sports. We also talked about how Idaho advances his talent strategy for America through Idaho Launch. Together, we are putting America workers first. Innovative workforce training programs power a modern economy, reinforce America's competitive dominance over China, and help Idaho workers earn more and afford more. Launch remains one of my top priorities for one simple reason: it's working. More Idaho kids are choosing to stay in Idaho after high school than ever before. And post-secondary enrollment is declining across the nation, but not in Idaho. Idaho is bucking the trend. Now, in year 2, Launch is preparing young Idahoans to step directly into the most demand jobs in our state, including skilled mechanics, healthcare workers, teachers, and others. I'm grateful for the Trump team's support of Launch. I was honored to host Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer last year to celebrate it. The Idaho legislature and I will continue to partner together to help President Trump deliver on his promise to fight for the Idaho worker. For Idaho, the change from the last administration to having Republicans in the White House is now night and day. Under Biden, Idaho was kept more or less in the dark. But now, we have a real partner at the federal level. Nowhere is that more obvious than in safety. Ask any law enforcement officer on the ground and they'll tell you, under the last administration, immigration enforcement wasn't just slowed down, it was put on ice. I knew you'd get it. That changed 1 year ago. The American people delivered a mandate, enforce the law, and keep our people safe. Idaho was ready to step up. Through Operation No Return, the Idaho State Police are removing dangerous illegal alien criminals from our neighborhoods. We're talking about child rapists, stalkers, violent offenders, kidnappers, and drug traffickers. That's what real public safety looks like. Colonel Bill Gardner, head of the Idaho State Police, is here with some of our troopers who jumped at the chance to help. Colonel and troopers, Idaho is among the safest state in the nation because of you. Please stand so we can thank you. Over the past year, our partnership with the Trump administration is delivering real results in other areas as well. Last year, I was proud to host HH Secretary RFK Jr. We were showcasing Idaho's leadership in Make America Healthy Again movement, from restricting cell phone use in schools to eliminating candy and soda in the food stamp program. We're also partnering with the Trump team to deliver results in energy dominance. The Idaho National Laboratory in Idaho Falls has been at the forefront of nuclear energy research for decades. And today, under President Trump, America is experiencing a nuclear energy resurgence. We recently hosted Energy Secretary Chris Wright to celebrate the INL's role in strengthening America's competitiveness, boosting energy security, and protecting critical systems from cyber threats. And the INL plays a critical role in supporting the U.S. Navy's mission to safeguard local commerce, reinforce our national defense, and maintain America's dominance over China. We're also delivering results for rural communities through expanded federal partnerships like shared stewardship and good neighbor authority. These flagship agreements better protect Idaho communities from wildfire, revitalize rural Idaho, improve forest health through increased logging and active management. We're delivering a better quality of life for our people through joint efforts to expand access to outdoor recreation, because Idahoans cherish and protect our public lands. And we're creating jobs through faster and more efficient permitting for a variety of projects, from mining to energy production. We're also partnering with President Trump to deliver results for Idahoans by championing common sense values, like education freedom and standing up for women's sports. In fact, tomorrow, Idaho goes before the U.S. Supreme Court to defend our first-in-the-nation law to protect women's sports. Idaho will continue to lead the rest of the country, and the rest of the country will continue to follow, because common sense still matters. Of course, no look back at the past year would be complete without acknowledging a new addition to the American vocabulary, Doge. The term may be new, but the principle behind it is something Idaho has long embraced, that elected leaders should always seek to reduce the government's regulatory footprint in the lives of citizens and maximize government efficiency. During my time as governor, together, we made Idaho the least regulated state in the nation. We cut or streamlined 95% of rules and regulations. For anyone who's been bald a little longer than they planned, that's not just a haircut, that's a buzz cut. Last year, this body took the next step by passing the Code Cleanup Act, turning our attention and our scissors to state statutes. The agencies of my administration got to work, dedicated countless hours to scrub the Idaho Code and deliver our red tape rollback report to the Idaho legislature. The report follows through on a key component of the Idaho Act. Our report recommends repealing 145,000 words of state law, the equivalent of the length of 20 football fields if you lined up the words end to end. The report provides a roadmap to remove outdated, duplicative, and unnecessary laws. Mr. Pro Tem, Mr. Speaker, here's our red tape rollback plan for the legislature's consideration. I value the strong collaboration between our two branches as we streamline operations and pursue cost-saving reforms across state agencies. Through my executive order, the Idaho Act, and our work with the legislature, we're driving changes that improve performance. That's because that's what Idahoans expect. I want to thank you, the members of the Idaho legislature, for sharing my zeal for cutting red tape. You codified a practice I established through Executive Order 2020, zero-based regulation, forcing a routine review of rule chapters annually. What was the outcome? Savings of more than $1 million in a state government that is more transparent, easier to navigate, and less burdensome for citizens and businesses. Small business owners don't need a lawyer to read the law. And let's be honest, fewer lawyers in the mix never hurt anybody, except maybe lawyers. Sorry. Looking ahead, we will remain laser focused on cutting red tape, driving even bolder reforms that fuel economic growth and smarter government. We'll do it with the same sharp, disciplined approach that has proven to work in the past. That spirit of limited, efficient government is woven into our ethos here in Idaho. It is one of the enduring values that will help us navigate the budget pressures before us. A balanced budget isn't just required by the Idaho Constitution, it's the right thing to do. Today, I am delivering my recommendations for fiscal years 26 and 27. 6-7. That went over a lot better than I thought it would. It is called the Enduring Idaho Plan. The plan is named with purpose. Enduring captures a vision of Idaho that is resilient, strong, and built for the long term. Thanks to years of smart governing, Butch, Jim, and Dirk, our success is not temporary. It will stand the test of time if we continue to make smart decisions. A combination of factors has shifted us from years of record budget surpluses driven by rapid population growth, business expansion, and one-time federal funds, to a period ahead that demands restraint. Thankfully, the way we have governed in recent years has positioned Idaho to weather the revenue challenges ahead. Together, we use one-time federal funds responsibly on one-time needs, not ongoing programs that will expand long-term obligations. We invested in critical infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, broadband, state parks, and others, while eliminating years of deferred maintenance in state buildings. We paid down debt, and Idaho now boasts the lowest per capita debt in the nation. We strengthened our reserves to record levels, earning the coveted AAA credit rating only a handful of states achieve. Taken together, these actions position us to achieve a balanced budget in the coming years and maintain confidence in Idaho's economic future. Our Enduring Idaho Plan makes way for Idaho to conform to the Trump tax cuts achieved through the One Big Beautiful Bill. Only President Trump could name a bill that confidently and then make it deliver. Idaho already ranks third in the nation for tax friendliness, but the cost of living remains high. At a time when everything costs more, the Trump tax cuts will provide real relief. They will put more money back in the pockets of Idaho's seniors and working families so they can afford the basics and breathe a little easier. The Trump tax cuts will help Idaho compete for jobs and investment and preserve the core principles that I have long advocated for in Idaho's tax system: simple, fair, predictable, and competitive. As we strive to make life more affordable for Idahoans, my plan ensures that resources are in place to deliver those tax cuts for Idahoans. Families and businesses across Idaho are grappling with rising costs, particularly in healthcare, and states everywhere are feeling the same strain. In Idaho, a fast-growing population adds to that pressure. However, Idaho's approach to balancing the budget stands in stark contrast to our neighbors to the left, the state of Washington. Washington just broke the record for the biggest tax increase in their history. And it is no surprise that Washington business owners who love faith, family, freedom, and keeping more of what they earn are ditching the evergreen state and coming to Idaho. Unlike Washington, Idaho won't raise taxes to balance the state budget. In Idaho, we will right-size spending to match the people's means. Last year, our revenue forecast decreased by 14% in a few months. That change was driven by several factors: a different approach in the legislature to revenue forecasting, historic tax cuts, softer sales tax collections as consumer spending adjusted, and ongoing uncertainty around interest rates in the national economy. Responsible leadership means acting early, not waiting for challenges to grow. That's why we took deliberate steps to right-size spending and identify efficiencies across all agencies. But we were clear on one thing: K-12 schools are not subject to cuts. I sincerely thank our state agency directors and their teams for their dedication to helping balance the state budget. They are truly top-notch professionals and proud Idahoans committed to doing what's best for our state. Please join me in a round of applause to show our deep appreciation for our state agency directors and our state employees. That's you, Jennifer. Looking ahead, our Enduring Idaho Plan balances the budget without cutting into public schools. We're going to do it while preserving the things that matter most to our long-term well-being as a state. Here's how. Our plan uses a responsible mix of one-time and ongoing spending reductions to keep the budget structurally sound. Across state government, executive agencies will tighten their belts. We're renegotiating contracts to save money. We're reprioritizing initiatives. We're finding operational efficiencies, and we will make disciplined use of cash balances and interest earnings. All of this serves to limit the impact on Idahoans as we right-size government. Just as importantly, we will protect Idaho's financial foundation. We will keep money in the bank so we can maintain our AAA credit rating. We won't deficit spend, and we won't add new debt like Congress does. Our plan also right-sizes funding for online schools, enhancing accountability and assuring long-term sustainability for this important school choice option for thousands of Idaho families. Folks, some of these budget decisions are tough, but we will emerge stronger in the long run because of them. This is what financial responsibility looks like: planning ahead and living within our means. Our Enduring Idaho Plan was carefully designed with strategy and foresight to protect what matters most, the things that will keep Idaho strong today, tomorrow, and decades to come. That starts with our public schools. Together, we've increased state support for public schools by 70% since I first took office, and we significantly raised teacher pay, investing 7 times more in literacy programs, driving better reading scores. We made historic investments in school facilities that also served as property tax relief, and we added more discretionary funding so schools can stay flexible and responsible to local needs. I appreciate Debbie Critchfield for her strong partnership in supporting education. She deserves credit for advancing new solutions for special education students in our public schools. Debbie, thank you. Education has and always will be my top priority. Join us today are students from Eagle Hills Elementary School. They're not just a 6'7" prop. To remind us of why young people are at the heart of everything we do. Kids, can you please give a big hello to the lawmakers? Stand up. Our Enduring Idaho Plan keeps public schools whole and ensures classroom funding is protected. Idaho's public schools are the heart and soul of our communities, and our children are our future, which is why, even in a year of reduced revenues, schools remain our top priority. A strong economy for Idaho, now and into the future, requires an adaptable workforce, more important than ever in a world where jobs seem to be changing at lightning speed. Our Enduring Idaho Plan preserves Idaho Launch so that we can support President Trump's goal to expand the working class, the people who drive our economy. The strength of Idaho's future also relies on the vitality of rural communities in the agricultural sector. That's why our plan maintains the water infrastructure investments we fought for last year. The Enduring Idaho Plan delivers for our farmers and ranchers and the people who feed and fuel Idaho. And of course, the health and the well-being of the people in Idaho are key to our lasting success. That's why our Enduring Idaho Plan safeguards access to health care, particularly in rural communities. We know the affordability and accessibility of health care tops the list of concerns for Idahoans right now. Over the next 5 years, thanks to the leadership and vision of Idaho's congressional delegation, President Trump, Idaho will invest nearly $1 billion federal dollars to improve the access and affordability of rural health care. This investment includes more than $150 million to strengthen the healthcare workforce pipeline serving our rural communities. And through my Enduring Idaho Plan, we'll build on the progress we've made to address our physician shortage, committing another $1 million to support graduate medical education. This plan tackles one of the most important aspects in the lives of Idahoans we serve, because a healthy Idaho is a thriving Idaho. My friends, the state of our state is strong. We do face challenges, but we've laid a solid foundation for enduring and long-term prosperity. That foundation was built not by today's leaders alone, but by the work of those who came before us. Governor Otter guided Idaho through the most severe economic downturn in a century, reinforcing the proper role of government and drawing a clear line between what's nice and what is necessary. Governor Risch delivered record property tax relief when homeowners badly needed it. And Governor Kempthorne made lasting foundational improvements to Idaho's transportation system. The proof is clear. Idaho's fundamentals remain among the strongest in the nation. Your dollar stretches further here than anywhere else. Our unemployment rate is among the lowest in the nation. We lead in personal income growth, and our economic activity continues to outpace most states, reflecting a diverse and resilient economy. Jobs are growing, and Idaho's healthy business climate remains a magnet for employers, talent, and investment. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you're going to bet on any state, bet on Idaho. As we approach the 250th birthday of our great nation, we honor our past as we look boldly to the future. We will roll up our sleeves and get to work for the people of Idaho, guided by our values: grit, faith, family, and freedom. Thank you, and God bless Idaho, and God bless the United States of America.